What's up, movie true Schmoedown fans? It's me again. I'm back trying to keep up with all the Schmoedown matches that I've missed and continue to miss since this one is between Paul Oyama and Nick Harley. And as you can see, I'm representing Swag here. And again, nothing against the Stars. I love the Stars. It's just me and Paul Oyama had this complicated relationship. Well, I wouldn't actually call it a relationship since it was mostly just me, where I really didn't like him in his debut season, and then I really grew to like him as soon as he became part of Swag. So now I can consider myself an Oyama fan, and it's nothing against Nick Harley. I enjoyed what he was able to do in FCL. It's just, like I said, I've known Paul Oyama as a competitor longer, so I gotta root for him. Anyways, as you can see, I will also be participating, but like I always say, don't expect too many correct questions out of this guy. So here we go.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Movie Trivia Schmoedown. It's the ultimate Schmoedown. It's round one, and what a matchup we have here today. Two former champions going head to head.
That is
the
true.
Former Movie Trivia Schmoedown champion of the world, Paul Oyama, against the first ever FCL champion, Slick Nick Harley.
Slick Nick Harley taking on primetime Paul Oyama. And like you said, it is a matchup of champions, but also one of those champions looking to prove themselves in the Movie Trivia Schmoedown. The other looking to seal their fate as one of the greatest to ever play the game. The latter would be Oyama. The former would be Nick. But either way, Christian, when you talk about a tournament setting, you're talking about a lot of pressure because points, not just in this match, but possibly a bevy of points in future matches are on the line for these factions.
Absolutely. The winner of this match will go on to play the winner of the Barbarian and Alonso Duralde. So right away, you're going to have some competition. That's what the Ultimate Schmoedown is. It never gets easy. You got to win 5 matches in order to get that title shot. Oyama's been there before. He's been the champion. He's been on the top of the mountain, and he's been in these big, high-profile matches before. Nick Harley comes in, first match in a teams match, and wins. So there's a lot of pressure on him. He went undefeated in the FCL. He was taken by the Stars. He knows he knows how much pressure is on him as this rookie who's coming in to, win a couple points, 3 big points for the Stars if he can do it. If he doesn't win, he doesn't lose to Oyama. It's like, okay, well, he wasn't supposed to win that match. But if he wins, that's some kind of statement that we're going to see if Slick Nick can do it.
He's hoping the Browns have a great season, and he's hoping he gets a win here today. If you want to pivot the Cleveland references, you go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Nick Harley, a guy who wants to rock and roll all night and then win every day, particularly against somebody like Paul Oyama, who has been in the league for years, like you said, an illustrious career thus far. And for some of those highlights and more, check this out.
Steph Sabra, the winner of the FCL championship, Nick Harley.
Did you think I wasn't going to spoil the party before I walked out the door to go up to the MTS?
My name is Nick Harley, and I've got a message for primetime Paul Oyama. I'm incredibly excited to face off against such a great competitor in singles.
Hell of a match there, and big time defeats prime time.
Woo! Poor Paul. Last year he had to play Marisol first round, and then this year he's got to play Nick Harley first round. It's like, Paul's like, what do I have to do to get a somewhat easier first round matchup?
Okay, just keep his head in the game, keep encouraging him, and don't forget to tell you that his numbers are sexy. Hey, Booze, it's tournament season. And you guys have seen Paul play for years. And you guys definitely saw Nick's undefeated run in the FCL. And today you guys get to see Slick Nick make his singles debut.
Let's just say that since I've joined the Stars, I've learned how to perform.
To be able to play together for the first time, for Nick to have his first match ever in the major leagues, how could a manager be happier? What more can I ask for?
And you'll know why he was the first player from the FCL that got bumped up to the big leagues for the Stars. He's the real deal.
Playing against Oyama in my singles debut, talk about being thrown into the deep end.
Oyama coming off a great free-for-all win. And a big win that he had in the beginning of the season to start the season against William Bibiani.
Now, we aren't taking this match lightly. Paul is more motivated than he's ever been before. And I know that Nick is viewed as the underdog in this match, but where I come from, underdogs named Nick, they pull out the victory.
I have a lot of ideas for where I want to take things, and we'll see where it goes. But yeah, Slick Nick is just the beginning, and we'll see where it goes from there.
My competitor will likely talk about how I should go back to the FCL and refer to me as some sort of amateur, or maybe make a joke about how I won a contest or something to get here. Well, if you're going to come at Slick Nick, you're going to have to be slicker than that.
Well, you can see it's a very different Nick Harley than we've seen in the past, but this is a Nick Harley who respects the game. This is a Nick Harley who wants to take on Paul Oyama and wants to prove some points for the Stars. And Roxy Schreier not able to be here today. Christy V will be managing Nick Harley. So that's going to be an interesting dynamic. How will those two work? Paul Oyama, we know how well he works with Winston Marshall. We know the kind of chemistry that they have, and we see how well they work together. So the advantage clearly is with the former champion here. But what kind of match are we going to see from Slick Nick? About to find out in a moment.
Yeah, the proving grounds are all over the place. So you got Harley trying to prove himself in a tournament setting. You have Christy V trying to prove herself as a manager. Oyama, again, proving himself once more. And Winston Marshall probably on his second mimosa at whatever brunch he's currently crashing.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the movie trivia Schmoedown. 3 rounds in the Ultimate Schmoedown Singles Division. Introducing first, representing the Stars, making his Schmoedown Singles debut. He is the former FCL champion of the world, Slick Nick Harley.
Slick Nick Harley has arrived in the singles division. Nick, let me ask you a question, man. You know that we have seen a little bit of different of an attitude from the FCL to the MTS. Seems like you're respecting the game. You respect your opponent here. What's changed?
I don't think anything's changed, Christian. I think that, as a member of the Stars, I have to act like a star. And, a star cares about the game. A star comes prepared. A star comes with respect, but
a star
always ready to perform.
Born.
Yeah, so, Nick, you're looking to be more like the Cleveland Cavaliers of the LeBron James era versus the Cleveland Browns of really ever since the 60s. How do you do that against such a formidable opponent like a Paul Oyama? I mean, the guy's intimidated just about everyone he's played against to some degree. How do you overcome that?
Look, they say a man with nothing to lose is a dangerous man. I've said that before. And, nobody thinks that I'm going to beat Paul Oyama, and that's fine, because if I don't, so be it. But if I do,
well, let me ask you, you bring up Paul Oyama, Chance Ellison. I mean, those were like guys who like made their name in the other division, other leagues, in the fan leagues. And so you come to the FCL, and that's where you make your name. How often is the name Paul Oyama thrown around in circles like that because of what he had accomplished in the past?
Yeah, I think everybody looks to someone like Paul Oyama and says, best case scenario, if I play well in the FCL, if I prove my worth, that hopefully that I'll get called up and I'll be the next Adam Collins, the next Chance Ellison, or the next Paul Oyama. So, Paul is someone that I have a lot of respect for, but, I'm very excited to play against.
And his opponent, representing Swag, with a record of 8 wins, 4 defeats, and 1 knockout. He is the 2021 Free-for-All winner and the former
Movie Trivia Schmoedown, champion of the world, Prime Time, Oyama!
Primetime Paul Oyama with that classic David B song. Now, before we get into anything else, you and I have been in disputes on your music in the past. We have to be on the same page with that theme song. How wonderful is that song?
It's great. Yeah, it's nice to have your own theme song. But what I'm focused on is this match.
Hey, all business, Paul. It's what I love about you, man. So listen, as you hear from your opponent here, you hear from your opponent of the respect that he does have for you and what you accomplished, not only in the other league, but in the fact of what you had done here already. You're supposed to, by all means, win your first round match. Does that stuff come into, hey, I know I'm going to take it out in the first round, second round, or is it that kind of common answer? Every person is as if I'm playing Dan Murrell.
I mean, this guy's never lost. And I think, he said a man with nothing to lose is a dangerous man, but so is a man on a mission. And I feel like I'm on a mission right now. Haven't won all my matches lately. I've been kind of on a rough streak, and I'm ready to bounce back, and I'm focused. And I don't take any opponent lightly at all, especially not someone who, again, has shown no weaknesses, no chinks in the armor yet. So I got to bring it today.
You've had a couple tough losses this season, as you mentioned. Any switch up with your training regimen, with your nutrition, with your sleep? I mean, is it just business as usual in the Oyama household, and you just got to get over that hump, or is there anything that you've actually shifted up in your study habits?
No, I think you got to kind of stick to what you know, and play your strengths. And I got a great team behind me that helps me prepare. And each match you prepare for differently anyway. It's not like it wouldn't be the same no matter what. But Nick's a new challenge, and I do have to, prepare in a slightly different way, I guess. But overall, it's pretty much the same. I got to prepare for this guy the same way I prepared for when I played Dan Murrell or anyone else. He's a serious threat, and he's my opponent. And he, all the past stuff is cool. That's great that I've done all this stuff, but none of that's going to help me in this match. The only thing that's going to help me in this match is my knowledge and the way I'm focused and how I answer these questions.
All right, Paul Oyama is here, Nick Harley is here, and Mark, what are the rules of round number 1 in the Ultimate Schmoedown?
Seen a lot of focus from these fellas. I'm scared.
So
I'm not
many
even
great
playing.
stickers
Round
on
number
that
1 works
whiteboard.
like this: 8 questions from 8 different corners of movie trivia Schmoedown. Know how each question's worth a point. There is no penalty for missing a question. There is no stealing. At least there isn't in round number 1. As soon as we ask the question, competitors have 15 seconds to write down their best attempt at an answer with whatever writing surface they prefer, using whatever stencil they like. Once we ask you by name or nickname, please show what you wrote to your camera at the same time you verbalize your attempt into the microphone. I'll remind each competitor of your 3 usages of the JTE rule throughout the duration of the match. Named for famed Blu-ray Black Friday Thanksgiving purchaser JTE. If you're not sure you heard a question right, you want to use another 15 seconds to get that correct answer, use a JTE rule. You also each have 1 challenge you may utilize at any point throughout the 3-round match.
Good.
You may initiate the challenge, bring in managers. They will ultimately confirm and ratify if said challenge is taking place. Christian,
okay, let's just put it that way.
about ready to get going here. I don't even think you need to ask these fellas, but I know you like doing it.
All right, let's ask the former champion first. Paul, are you ready?
Set your clocks. Let's do this.
Nick, are you ready?
To rumble.
Then let's get ready to Schmoedown!
Round number 1, question number 1. Here we go, gentlemen. We're going to start with romance. Who plays Helen, a London ad executive who the audience sees on 2 different tracks of her life stemming from one event in the 1998 film Sliding Doors?
His catchphrase is "set your clocks." Do you think Paul Oyama's ever slept through an alarm?
Paul immediately
I am betting
started
the answer's
writing
no.
it.
With that theme song?
Nick
Yes.
doesn't
5,
look too sure of himself.
4.
Clearly, I'm doing
3,
this much better than
2,
answering
1.
questions,
Hands
but I
down.
got nothing.
Hands up, please. We start with Paul Oyama.
I have Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yes. And Nick.
Didn't have it.
All right, so former champ gets
First
off
blood.
here 1-0. 1-0 as we get to question 2.
And that's a point for Goop as well. Your next question's in the category of action-adventure films. And the query: who stars as Mason Storm, an LAPD detective who emerges from a 7-year coma to exact justice in the 1990 film Hard to Kill? Man, you could get a lot of stuff greenlit in the 90s.
They are pulling 0 punches in
Hey,
this
it's a good movie.
It was maybe the most fun I've ever had asking a question. Was right
That's a
there.
good one. All right. And 5, 4.
Repeat the question.
First one.
All right. The category is action adventure. The question, and it's a good one. Who stars as Mason Storm, an LAPD detective who emerges from a 7-year coma to exact justice in the 1990 film Hard to Kill?
Hard to
Right
Kill.
now, looks like Oyama has the answer. We'll see if Nick used that.
Same thing
Repeat
as last
wisely.
round.
I have
A
an
lot of
answer.
speculating.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. Hands up, please. We start with Nick.
Steven Seagal.
Yes. And Paul.
Steven Seagal.
2-1.
Steven
Prime
Seagal.
time. Keeping the lead as we get to question 3. Fantasy sci-fi is the category. Vin Diesel portrays Hugo Turok, a mercenary and a former Marine, in this 2008 sci-fi film, also featuring Mark Strong and Michelle Yeoh.
Again, I can't stress this enough. Coma for
I feel
7
like it's what I
years.
should know,
Grows a beard.
but I got nothing.
Beard. It's a great beard.
And he emerges from the bed ready to just beat the crap out of everybody.
5, as one does. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. Hands up, please. And we start with Paul Oyama.
The Last Witch Hunter.
Is incorrect. And Nick.
Babylon AD.
Yes. Nick ties it up.
Good pull.
2-2.
I never even
So
heard
now
of
we're
it.
all tied up. That was a big get there by Slick Nick as we get to question 4.
That's right. Perfect rounds are off the table, although if it mentions Steven Seagal's Hard to Kill, it's a perfect round for everyone at home. Your next category, comic book movies. And the question, which actor plays Agent Phil Coulson in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? What do they have, like 80 of these movies now?
Plus all the shows. So
Yeah?
keeps on moving.
You keeping up with them?
I am, actually. Yeah, 5,
Okay.
4, 3, 2,
Yeah.
1. Pens down. Hands up, please. And we start with Nick.
Clark Gregg.
Yes. And Paul.
I got one.
The man who wrote What Lies Beneath. Clark Gregg.
Well, see.
Really?
Well, now we won't ask that question. That was going
No.
to come up. So you just hurt yourself there, Paul. All right, here's the next question. This is in the realm of Westerns. Which Academy Award-winning actor starred in and directed the 2014 Western film The Homesman?
Man, that is Clark Gregg wrote that, huh?
That is, PJ was very mad today because
He's
that's the question
furious.
he put in the first round.
Yeah.
5,
Question.
4, 3.
Repeat the question.
Repeat the question.
Oh, repeat the
Thank
question.
you.
Okay, gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha. All right, here you go. Which Academy Award-winning actor starred in and directed the 2014 Western film The Homesman?
I mean,
That is
my
a
answer's
question and a
most
half.
likely
I
wrong.
like it. I like it.
Is that
feel like I
like,
should
is that
change it
like
to something
the Old
else.
West way of referring to your homies?
But
Maybe.
I don't
5,
know.
4, 3, 2, 1. Hands down. Hands up, please. And Paul Oyama.
Tommy Lee Jones?
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
Nick.
I
Don't have
figured
Wow, what a pull by Paul Oyama.
These
And
are
goes-
tough.
That was a tough one.
Golly.
And Paul Oyama sees himself up by 1. That was a massive pull by the former champion. And here's
It was. So he takes a
Next
1-point lead. Perfect rounds off the table, like we said, but we'll lighten the mood with your next category. Get ready. It's comedies.
I.
Thank you. Your question for a point. John Cusack plays Martin Q. Blank, a professional assassin attending his high school reunion in this 1997 dark comedy. Leads me to the question. Christian,
yes.
have you been to any of your high school or college reunions?
Nah. I went to all boys Catholic high school. It's like going to Oz. 5, 4,
The prison or
3.
the magical place?
The prison. 2, 1. Hands down. Hands up, please. And we start here with Nick.
Gross Point Blank.
Yes, sir. And Paul.
Gross Point Blank.
All right, so we see ourselves at the moment, Oyama 5, Harley 4, as we get to our 7th question, the 2010s. What year saw the release of the sequels, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, 22 Jump Street, and Sin City, A Dame to Kill For? So, Oyama,
So-
Release dates is something I'm pretty good at.
What do you do for fun?
I also
in high
remember
school?
where I was
Waited
when
for
those
the
movies
clock
came
to
out.
run out. 5,
One of them
4,
in
Set
particular.
your clocks.
3, 2, 1. Hands down. Hands up, please. And Paul Oyama.
My name is Jeff.
2014.
2014.
Yes, sir. Nick.
2014.
Good match so far. Really good match
Yeah.
for both guys here. 6-5 as we get to our final question in round number 1.
These are famous actors and actresses. Read about them in Us Weekly, and now one of them is the subject of this question. Which actress starred in the 1990s films The Ice Storm, Copycat, and Dave?
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I don't know
Unrelated,
the
Dave.
answer.
I believe our friend Andrew Santino stars in that show.
Sure does.
On FX.
Yeah. Season 2.
Fox.
5, 4, 3.
Repeat the question.
Second one for Nick.
All right. Famous actors and actresses is the category of the question. Which actress starred in the 1990s films The Ice Storm, Copycat, and Dave?
Tough round one.
Finished
For both
buried,
of them.
by the way.
Oh, did
So
you? Did you
far.
get to that episode I don't like that everyone else loves?
Yeah, it was fine, but I overall love
5, 4, 3. It's a great show.
Great.
2, 1. Pens down. Hands up. And Nick,
Annette Bening.
it's incorrect. Paul,
Dave is a comedy masterpiece. Sigourney Weaver.
both on correct on both accounts. And we see ourselves now 7-5. Underrated comedy that Dave. All right, so Paul Oyama sees himself up by 2. He doesn't get himself the perfect round, but he does have a 2-point lead going into round number 2. It is the wheel round. Mark, what are the rules?
That's right. The
Well,
wheel emerges from the darkness of the virtual
got
realm,
2
and now it
questions
is in
correct in
everyone's
that
living
that
room,
round,
and each
so-
competitor gets a spin at that Thar wheel. Once you settle on a category,
Clearly,
4
I'm
questions
doing about as well
emerge
as I
in that
usually do.
particular realm. Each question's worth 2 points. There's no penalty for missing a question. Stealing, yep, it wasn't allowed in the round. It's allowed now. So if you miss a question, your opponent can steal. Now, to avoid missing a question, you can ask us multiple choice. We'll give you 4 options, one of which we're told by apparently the very mean writers that there's one answer that's correct, and it's worth a point. So you have that going for you. JTE rules challenges still apply. Oyama with 2 JTE rules left. Harley with just 1.
All right, so Paul, you have a 2-point lead. Would you like to go first or second?
What
I would
happened
defer
to
to Mr. Harley.
the screen? What's
Roxy,
that
you
black
look
thing?
different.
I know, guys. I dyed my hair and everything. It's just from the movie. Listen, do not get yourself down. Nobody is perfect. These questions were hard. You're fine.
Yeah.
You are prepared for this wheel. You are good to go. I have all
Cool
the
as a
faith in you.
cucumber.
You're fine. Everything's good. You all right? Anything else you want to discuss? Are you just ready for this wheel?
No, yeah, we know what we're gonna do. So,
All right. We got our
yeah.
plan.
Yeah, let's do it.
Spin it in. Sports films. 60 seconds for sports films to decide. Starting now.
You know, I know people really like sports. The NFL's coming back. We're super excited for that. But I feel
I
like
like
there's
sports.
yeah, like
And I
I
don't
like
care who knows.
yeah. I just feel like there's so much else on here that you would be great in. And I know you love sports. You got your like hockey. Is that hockey behind you? I'm only football, so I don't really know.
It's not, but
Okay.
yeah, I agree with you. Let's spin it again.
Yeah, if you get sports, whatever you like it. If not, we'll do something better.
And here's the spin.
All right. Fastest way into my doghouse, Christian, spinning away from sports movies.
Well, maybe they'll land on it anyway. Find out in a second. And it's not. It's Reese
Reese
Witherspoon.
Witherspoon.
Reese
I like
Witherspoon. And
Narrowly
now
avoided
we're
spinner's
gonna get
choice.
4 questions in the realm of Reese Witherspoon. Nick, are you ready, sir?
Witherspoon.
I am ready.
Reese Witherspoon plays the character Mrs. Whatsit in what 2018 family film from director Ava DuVernay?
A Wrinkle in Time.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. 2 points.
I knew it. I just
Which actor
had
plays
taken too
Paul
much time to come
Meltzer?
up with the name.
Paul Metzler, a popular student who is running against Tracy Flick for student body president in the film Election.
That's Chris Klein.
It is.
Chris
Question
Scribe.
3. In what 2010's film were Reese Witherspoon and Nat Wolff directed by Haley Myers Shire?
That is Home Again.
2 more points.
He
and
likes his Reese Witherspoon movies, huh?
Certainly does. And here is the final question in this round. Here you go. Who directed Reese Witherspoon and Robert Pattinson in Water for Elephants? 4.
I'm going to use multiple choice.
All right. Is it A, Tony Gilroy, B, Gary Ross, C, Francis Lawrence, D, Akiva Goldsman?
That is C, Francis Lawrence.
It is indeed. So good round there by Nick Harley, and sees himself up by 5 going into Paul Oyama's spin. All right, we're going to drop Nick out and bring Winston in.
I mean, before we get to it, Paul, I mean, I got to give Harley credit. That was a great Lonely Island reference that he had earlier. I don't think anybody else caught it. I might have been the only one, but I you heard it too. Mark got it? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Exactly. We like sports and we don't care who knows. Anyway, how you feeling, bro? You feeling good?
Good. I mean, yeah, I kind of figured he was going to do good at that kind of round. He's a good player. Got to have a good round myself, and that's kind of all there is to it.
That's all there is to it. So let's spin the wheel, and we'll discuss. But no jokes today. Let's just go get this dub.
Nice.
And here is the.
I like the
both
business
managers
Winston.
and players on my good side today, Mark.
Yeah, it appears Winston.
I mean,
I might prefer the comedic Winston, but
I mean, I could just challenge for no reason if you want. I mean,
It's
I
up to
don't
you.
mind.
You want to get on my bad side? Go ahead.
I
Classic.
enjoyed the
60
funny
seconds.
Winston more, but
60 seconds.
I like this.
I'm thinking we stick with it. What do you want to do?
I think we should, based on other stuff, I think we should keep it.
All right, so Paul Oyama is going to get 4 questions in the realm of classics.
Classic.
All right, Paul, I'll be asking you your classics question, and from this classic maple syrup voice, here's the first one for 2 points, unless you need multiple choice. Which classic Disney film features the characters Lampwick, Figaro, Cleo, and Monstro the Whale?
Pinocchio.
A nightmare for children. It's a Pinocchio.
I was going to say, Monstro is what gave it away for me. That is correct for 2 points. And Oyama cuts the lead of Harley to 3. He trails by a field goal. He can cut the lead to 1, an extra point, with this next correct answer. From the question, which actor played Captain Nemo in Disney's 1954 adaptation of Jules Verne's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea?
That's James, I want to say Mason? James Mason.
Is correct. I bet his friends call him Jim. That is 2 points.
Jason.
And Oyama can now take the lead on this next question. Here it is. Which Best Picture nominee opens with the dead body of a man named Joe Gillis floating in a pool?
That is one of my favorite actors of all time, too. It's a Sunset Boulevard.
He wasn't hard to kill, was he? That is correct for 2 points. And now it is a 1-point lead for primetime Paul Oyama, earning his nickname. And now we get to his final question in round number 2. The category is classics. And for 2 points, the 1949 film Crisscross stars which actor as Steve Thompson, who returns to Los Angeles to resume his old job of driving an armored car?
I'm going to go to multiple choice on this.
All right, your 4 multiple choice options for 1 point. Is it A, Montgomery Clift, B, Cary Grant, C, Burt Lancaster, or D, Rock Hudson?
Burt Lancaster.
Moonlight Graham is correct, and that is another point for Oyama. And so, Christian, sort
Okay, I
of
got myself
similar
one question in
tone
that
here
round.
from round 2 from both Harley and
eight
Oyama.
questions.
And here we are once again with Oyama sporting a 2-point lead going into the next round, which is round 3, the final round.
Great round by both competitors here. Both only going to multiple choice once, but getting that 1 point when they did it. No steals from either competitor. And as you said, Mark, Oyama sees himself with a 2-point lead. Going into round number 3, how's it go?
Round number 3 works as thus. We need some help from each competitor. This help comes in the form of numbers. Just a little tiny bit of math. We need 3 numbers from each of you. These numerals may range from 1 to 20. You may not pick the same integers as your opponent because each one corresponds to a unique category of Schmoedown mystery. Your first question is going to be worth 2 points. Your next one is worth 3 points. And your final question, God, I love this game, is worth 5 big points. Paul Oyama, you not only have, well, kind of a full complement. You have 2 JTE rules left. You also have the luxury of giving us your 3 lucky numbers first from 1 to 20. What feels fortunate?
I'm going to go 12, 7, and 15.
12, 7, and 15 for Paul. 12, 7, and 15 for Paul. All right, and for Nick?
4, 8, and 16.
Woo! Okay, we up 2. Oh, you got 2 JT Izzles. Yeah, handle your business. And wow, I'm embarrassed. This is ridiculous. I'm gonna go and get my celebratory shot ahead of time because I don't need it to celebrate. I need to calm down. You feel good, son?
Yeah, I feel good. I'm probably gonna have to answer all my questions just because Nick is
probably.
A good player. He'll
This
probably
kid's
hit
playing
his.
pretty good.
So I gotta lock in, but I'm feeling good about it, and I'm excited to get the questions.
All good, man. Look, I promise you this. I'm gonna be paying more attention to the challenges than listen to the rules being read for round 3. I promise you that. Sorry, Mark. I've heard them like 50 million times.
Hey, we're in it.
So proud of you.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Reese is one of my favorites. You made me so proud. You have one repeat left, so use it wisely. Remember, you have 15 seconds to answer every question. Think, make sure you're sure of your answer. You know what you're doing. How are you feeling? Because I'm so excited for you.
I'm feeling good. We're still in this. So yeah, hopefully sexy numbers leads to questions we know.
Oh yeah, sexy numbers for our girl Roxy. You picked the
numbers for
sexiest of
life.
all the numbers, so we're good to go.
So,
All right, Mark, both our competitors are here. We're going to start with Nick. He chose category 4, and he got himself directors.
That's right, Nick. These are people behind the camera who make the magic come together. For 2 points, and to tie the lead of your opponent Primetime, your question: who directed the 2008 film Gran Torino?
Clint Eastwood.
that would be Clint Eastwood.
Okay,
He's been
I knew
around
one.
a couple times. That is correct, and we
I got
are
one.
tied, so now we go to Primetime for his 2-pointer.
Primetime chose category 12, and that would be in the realm of animated films.
That's right. These are not live-action
Ali
movies.
Matete.
Is your one hint. For 2 points, Paul, to regain a 2-point lead, the question: Craig T. Nelson and Holly Hunter lead the voice cast of what 2004 Pixar film?
The
The
Incredibles.
Incredibles.
Is correct for 2 points. It's a 2-point lead for Primetime again, so we go back to Harley for his attempted 3.
All right, so
I needed to
Mr.
hear
Harley, he
the
chose
year to be
category
completely sure
8.
of it.
Category 8, and that would put him Matthew McConaughey.
All right.
All right, all right.
There it is. Great actor, questionable bathing habits, and your question for 3 points. And to gain the solo possession of the lead, Jan Demange directed Matthew McConaughey in what 2018 biographical crime drama? Five, four,
Repeat the question.
3.
That's the last one.
Final one. The question: Jan Demange directed Matthew McConaughey in what 2018 biographical crime drama?
Five.
Go out with a guess.
4.
Killer Joe.
Is a good guess, but incorrect. We were looking for White Boy Rick. They both
All
had
right.
first names in the title.
So here's where we stand at
White
the moment.
boy
Nick Harley
Nick.
needs to hit his 5-pointer. If he hits it,
No?
then
No?
it'll bounce back
Anybody?
to Paul Oyama, who's got to
No?
answer some more questions to win. However, if he misses the 5-pointer, Paul Oyama goes on to round number 2 to play either Alonzo Duralde or the Barbarian. All right.
Alonzo Duralde.
So, Nick, you chose category 16. Mark, that puts him
Right.
with fantasy sci-fi.
Movies that make us believe in life.
that a man can fly.
Your question: for 5 points, to regain the lead and to force Oyama to answer more questions. Nick Harley, the category fantasy sci-fi. The question: which actress plays Annabeth Chase, who helps Percy Jackson in the film Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Lightning Thief?
Guess I should have watched those movies. 'Cause my friends from Get Sweaty keep raving about
5,
those books.
4, 3.
Elizabeth Banks.
And your winner!
Prime time!
Time.
Oh,
yeah!
Daddario,
Answer.
baby. Daddario.
Alexandria Daddario. Yes, that is exactly right. And that is the final score. Paul Oyama, 16. Nick Harley, 14. Swag and Paul Oyama advance. 3 points to Swag. So big win by Swag and primetime Paul Oyama. That's their shooting star. That's their ace in the hole, and he gets past a very game Slick Nick Harley, who just couldn't
Avoid
hit that
the
3 and the
TKO.
5, and you got to be able to nail those in order to beat Primetime.
Yep.
Yeah, that was just a veteran showing a rookie the ropes, but the rookie did not look phased. Nick Harley looked right in it for the majority of the match and just got a couple tough questions there he couldn't quite pull in round number 3. But Paul Oyama, this is just the beginning of his journey, or at least that's how he feels about it, because he thinks he can barnstorm his way through this entire tournament. The pressure's only going to ratchet up. The points are still at stake, but he did what he had to do today, and him, Winston Marshall, and Team Swag took care of business.
All right, so now we are going to be talking to Primetime Paul Oyama, his manager, Winston Marshall, with 3 big points, talking to Steph Sabra in the winner's circle. Steph?
Congratulations, Paul, Swag, Winston. That was such a fun match to watch. Paul, from the get, you were saying that you were on a mission, and I feel like you accomplished that mission today. How are you feeling after the win?
This is step 1 in the mission. It's nowhere near complete. It feels good to win, though. I mean, Nick is a tough competitor. He's a real wild card. Like, I didn't really have that much information on him compared to other players that I've played at this point in my career. So honestly, it was a tight match, especially going into round 3, and I just got lucky. He just got a couple of things that he didn't know. But it's all these matches are going to be hard. It's a tournament season. You got to be ready, and I'm ready for the next round.
That's absolutely true. And I know, like you said, before going into round 3, you told Winston that you think you would have to hit all the way to the 5-pointer, and you were only up 2 points. Were you at all nervous going into that round 3, or was it just the game plan from the get to just do what you got to do, answer the questions?
I think if you're not a little nervous, you're not really locked in a real way.
Yeah.
So definitely, I mean, I knew I had to focus, and there's a big chance, obviously, he just gets questions he knows. It's, luckily he just got, the 5-pointer about like my favorite book series of all time. We don't have to talk about the movie adaptations very much. But it was a wild ride there in round 3, and all hats off to Nick. He played a terrific match. Just, again, like sometimes you just run into those kind of questions, and it is what it is.
Winston, how'd you feel about your boy Paul today?
I mean, dare I say that we gave Beating the Stars a whirl? Shout out to the world girls in the building. It was great, man. It was always great to see Paul come through and do what he has to do. Harley is a competitor, man. I'm not gonna lie that I enjoyed that a little too much because we wanted to get sweet revenge for Pop Quiz. It happens. You know what I mean? But it was really cool to see Paul do what he does best. And I'm excited to see what Harley does next, man. I mean, he's proven that he's got the steez. So I'm sure that this is the beginning of a bright future for him.
Yeah, for sure. And Winston, I know we got Lon versus Khan coming up. If he wins, that's 6 points. How are you feeling about that?
I just want to be ahead of as many factions as possible. So if we can be ahead, we're at least stay ahead of the stars. That's great. I don't know who's directly above us. All that is just a jumble up here. I'm just trying to herk it out, and get up to Mount Olympus. It's going to be kind of hard to beat all the Titans up there because of the point differential. But we're going to do everything we can. We're going to take as many belts with us on the way out. I'll tell you that much.
Love that energy. Now, Paul, you will be playing the winner of Barbarian versus Alonzo. Any preferences there?
No, I think as the Clippers almost found out in the playoffs, you got to be careful with who you're trying to play and set up yourself up to play next. I just have to be focused. I can't, again, I say this so many times, it's probably annoying at this point, but I can't spend energy thinking about, I hope it's this person, I hope it's not. All it is it's going to be someone, and then I have to prepare and I have to take them seriously. Both those guys are crazy knowledge guys. Like, both of them have such a broad base that it's going to be tough, as all the matches in the tournament will be, but I'll be ready.
You do have that FFA match in your pocket, and I'm wondering if that gives you any ease going into the tournament. I know you said it's just match by match, but feeling comfortable and confident?
No, I think that if you feel too comfortable and too at ease, that's when you're slipping. So yeah, the free-for-all win is nice to have, but that doesn't mean you can take your foot off the gas. That's how you lose matches.
Yeah, well, I always love Paul is one of the most focused competitors. It is so fun to watch you. You're like an athlete of your mind. I love the way you stretch in between. That was an awesome match, Paul. I was so fun to watch you get the win, and I can't wait to see you in the rest of the tournament.
Thanks, Steph.
Mark, Christian, back to you.
Thank you, Steph, and thanks to Paul and Winston. Yeah, I mean, look, and I said it beforehand, the chemistry with Winston and Paul, they're so used to each other at this point. Paul Oyama is now 9-4 It's a quiet 9-4, but he's 9-4.
94.
That's
year
a tremendous
of the
record
Lion
to have
King.
in the Schmoedown. There are not a lot of people in that 10+ club, and he in his young career is getting there very, very fast. With a win against either Barbarian or Alonzo, he can get there. But I thought that the former champion played great, and he played up against a rookie in his first match playing Oyama. I thought played spectacular.
Yeah, Oyama, we've said this before, we'll say it again. The kid, can we still call him a kid if he's been in the kid's a star, and he has high hopes for what he can do throughout this tournament. On the other side, though, Nick Harley taking a tough loss today, but saw a lot of potential in him. We know this for certain, not just Nick Harley, but Christy V. We know she's a great competitor, but she was really good as a manager today, too. And so kind of a double threat there. There's very few facts that we know for certain in life, Christian, but these are true. Nick Harley is not going anywhere, and his Browns are going to get more wins than your Giants this coming set. We'll talk about that later. For right now, we'll throw to Steph Sabra for an interview with Nick Harley, Christy V, and the Stars.
Long time no see, Steph.
I know, Nick. It's so fun to be able to watch you compete in the MTS, and also Chrissy V. So excited that I get to meet you. It was really fun watching you managing Nick. But Nick, I gotta say, it is so cool being able to see you from the FCL to now, and you've already garnered a lot of respect in your game. And even today, I know you said if you lose, it's to Paul Oyama, so that will be a dutiful loss because he is one of the greats. But how are you feeling about this match and your future matches in the MTS?
I mean, I think respect is nice, but I want wins. So that's one thing. But yeah, to come in and make my singles debut against someone as good as Paul Oyama, I can't help but feel like it went about probably how most people expected it to go. So it's a little frustrating because I definitely knew that 3-pointer, but at the end of the day, didn't know that 5-pointer. And what are you going to do if you don't know the answer? You don't know the answer. So there's not really much to hang my head about. I think there's a lot of great takeaways from this match. I'm really excited to get my feet wet in singles, and I think, like everyone else has said, this is not the last that you're going to see of me.
One of those great takeaways was you slaughtering Reese Witherspoon category, which I know Christy was excited
the category,
to see.
not the person.
What was the mindset going into round 3? And I also got to ask, was there a major difference between an FCL match and today's?
Yeah, I think the major difference between an FCL match and an MTS match was that I wasn't wearing sunglasses, so potentially the UV rays kind of messed with my ability to lock in completely. Mm-hmm. But no, in all seriousness, I don't, to tell you the truth, I don't think that there's too much of a difference, because at the end of the day, it's me versus the questions. So I don't think that there's anything that I would have done too differently in this match. There's not anything that I think that maybe I did in the FCL that I didn't do here today. And that, well, there is one thing, and that would be win. But next time.
Well, thank you, Steph, and classy interview from both Slick Nick and Christy V. Christy, you could tell, had a lot of fun managing, and she was, I think, very instrumental in that round too, of just encouraging. I liked it was quick, it was to the point, it was let's just go in there and let's do it. And I thought he played very well for his first match. He did come in. That's a lot of pressure for someone to come in there and play Paul Oyama, and he held his own. And there's more matches in the future there for Slick Nick.
Yeah, and so oftentimes we hear the term happy to be here as a negative, as you're not expecting to win. No, Harley came in here, as did his manager, guesting today, Christy V. They came in expecting to give a great performance and trying to get a win, but you can also be happy to have competed. Right. That's what we saw, and it's nice to see that sort of positive energy around the movie Trivia Schmoedown, #818.
Well, guess who else lost to Paul Oyama last tournament?
A lot of people. A lot of
Marisol McKee.
Yeah,
look at her season.
And now she's playing for the championship.
Playing against Paul Oyama and getting your reps in against Paul Oyama is a good thing, whether you win or lose, because he'll teach you pretty quick how to play the game. And that's what he did. He did it again. He won himself another match, and he got himself to 9 wins. And he's right, though. He does not have an easy road. No one in this tournament has an easy road. Look at this bracket. That bracket alone there right now, you look at who is possibly
I
still,
can barely even
waiting
follow
for
it.
1 or 2 matches, but that's the majority of it, and you're going to get one of those 2 versions of the tournament. But everyone is pretty much locked in, and the Barbarian and Alonzo, they are locked in. And if you take that match of whether it's Paul Oyama versus the Barbarian, could go either way. Alonzo Duralde, who I still think has a major run in him in this game, is someone who's very, very scary. So Paul Oyama's right to not say, oh yeah, I got this. I'm a former champion. I can take this whole thing. He plays every match as if it's a championship match, and that's why he's as good as he is.
Yeah, I mean, I'll correct you on one thing. There's one easy road I see in that bracket, and
What's
that's
that?
us getting to call the action. Just sit back, ask the questions. It's going to be fun, man.
Oh, I like that. Look at
Hey,
that.
what's
And
up, Doc?
Speaking of which, ladies and gentlemen, get your tickets. We're going to be in New York on October 9th for the spectacular. No, not for the spectacular, for Brooklyn. But the day before, Mark and I are going to be doing some stand-up at the New York Comedy Club. You can get some tickets. Get yourself some tickets. You can get them either at the Schmoedown Live.com or get them at Mark Ellis. I always do it wrong. Is it markellis.live?
Look at that. I don't even need to be here. This is great.
Awesome. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for this tournament. The 2 competitors that we had, just what a great match it was. This tournament in general is good. We have so many tournaments going on, whether it's Inner Geekdom, we have the teams tournament coming up, there's a Star Wars championship coming up, McKee versus Irwin. I mean, there's so many great matches. You want to check out the entire schedule, go to the Schmoedownlive.com and check it out. Thank you to our great team at Skybound. Please join the Patreon today if you have not done it, patreon.com/Schmoedown. And thank you to Mark Ellis. We'll see you next time. Peace!
So you're telling jokes.
So, yeah. Well, I only answered 5 questions in this round, in this match. Not too horrible. It is still horrible, but I mean, it's definitely below my average for singles, but I'm pretty happy with it. I got more questions right in round 1 and round 3 than I did in round 2, which is kind of ironic. But, well, I'm not really the one that's important right now, am I? The one that's important here is Paul Oyama getting himself another win, just like I predicted. No shade on Nick Harley. He played great in his debut singles match. I guess the transition from FCL to MTS is a little less smooth between singles and teams. Obviously, in teams he won, mostly because probably the fact he has someone to rely on, someone to share the load with. I guess that helps. And yeah. Like I said, he lost his debut singles match, but that in no way, shape, or form means that he's out. He's going to be back, and he's going to be more dangerous and scarier than ever. I apologize for being on my phone half the time. I just, work stuff. But, yeah, I really enjoyed this match, and I've got another one coming up that I need to watch. So I better hurry up and do it. So until then, everybody, Schmoedown! Hello again, everybody. I really hope you enjoyed this video, because I really enjoyed making it. So, if you like what you've seen here, please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more awesome content like this. So, until next time, guys, I'll see you guys next time.